everybody, Harry Plattgow here. We're doing a new show. This is the first of a new series of programs we call the Artist Corner. We're going to be interviewing and demonstrating and showing local artists their work here on Milford TV. Our first guest is a very old and very dear friend of mine. His name is Jim Calarese, accomplished photographer, my mentor, in fact. Everything I know about photography I've learned from Jim. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, glad to be here, Harry.
Let me ask you something. There was a time in history where photography really wasn't considered an art form. Do you remember that?
Yes, I think that still exists to some extent today. People seem to like paintings for the home decorations rather than photography. Yeah.
Well, how do you feel? I mean, what's Jimmy Calarese's take on photography being an art form or not?
Oh, sure. It's an art form. It requires technical skills as well as the ability to distinguish art from whatever. But it's somewhat of an art form.
You consider yourself an artist?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I try to find things to photograph in an artful way.
You do that?
Oh, thank you very much.
How many weddings have you shot over the years?
Oh, I estimated it at about 1,500.
Wow.
Over the years.
1,500.
Yeah.
You know how many of those marriages took for any time?
Some of them I did twice. No, I have no idea about that.
Jerry, punch up, we're right here, the Irish Round Tower. This is one of your photos.
Right.
I've attempted to shoot that a million times, but the flagpole always gets in the way. And you've managed to make that part of the photo. It's very nice. How long ago did you take that?
That was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, that was kind of fortunate. We had just come back from somewhere, the wife and I, and I'd been trying to get a good shot of that. Wasn't working out, and we just found the right angle, and I hid the swamp with the bushes there, and the day was just perfect, the clouds in the sky, and a little bit of color coming in.
Was there any Photoshop here?
No, I just punched up the color a little bit and may have burned this in.
Let me ask
slightly.
you something. Photoshop, is it cheating?
No, I don't think so at all. It's not cheating. I mean, you take an artist to working with any other type of media, and whether it's oils or pencils or acrylics, they put into that canvas only what they want to put there.
Yeah.
And take out what may be distracting.
Right.
So we do the same thing to some extent.
Cool. Jerry, bring up the next one. There you go. Hey, Airman.
Yeah, Airman is right.
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
Well, was he a general back then?
He was. Yeah, he was a one-star.
And you were stationed at Loring?
Oh, no. He flew in for some reason, whatever the reason was. And I had the assignment. This is when I was in the service in the photo lab, working the photo lab, and got the assignment to go out and take some photos. And that was one of several I took. That was the best one.
Did he say anything to you?
No.
He never said anything to you?
2 generals and 2 colonels? No, they didn't say anything to me.
Jimmy Stewart. Now, what do we got? Oh, morning conference in Siena. The next one. There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Did you get these guys to sign releases?
I don't know if they're still alive. This was probably the first trip we took to Italy, and it was in Siena. I just turned around and there they were. I'd been looking for people shots rather than churches and coliseums and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that was it. That was perfect.
Were you some distance away?
I was. That was with a 120 millimeter lens.
Yeah.
Mild telephoto. And I probably in Photoshop brought it up a little closer.
Do you favor taking pictures of people over other objects?
Yeah, people are interesting. I like scenics, especially in the fall with the leaves. And I do like people are interesting. They're very interesting. Just got to be careful nowadays. It's about shooting children without permission.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. But I've gotten away from the news stuff that I used to shoot years ago. There's no market for it.
Talk about years ago when you were with Darkroom at your house. Do you remember the first photo that you shot and developed and you saw born in the developer? Do you remember that photo?
I don't remember the photo what it was, but I remember the moment. It wasn't there.
It wasn't there?
No, it was years earlier at my parents' home on Fountain Street.
Yeah.
I blacked out the windows down in the basement and waited for evening to come along, and I bought an enlarger. I had the developing things. I just had a table, everything on a table, and it was amazing to see it come up.
You don't remember what the image was?
I have no idea.
Oh my.
All I remember was 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to mix your own chemicals back then, or were they all available in the envelopes?
No, they were prepackaged.
Yeah.
I think they came in little cans at that time.
All cans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All Kodak, and you followed the directions, put them together, mixed them up, and then used them.
Cool. All right, what's the next one, Jer?
Back Street in Siena.
In Italy?
Yeah, this was, I think, at another time. Next trip we went, same spot, but
Were you standing up or laying down in the street to take that?
no, I was standing up. There was a steep hill that went down to the bottom there and then up again. It was like being in medieval times.
Now, how old do you figure those buildings are?
I swear they went back to the Middle Ages. Maybe not, but they're old, unchanged for years. But everything worked together. The two umbrellas and the picnic table on the side, and the couple down the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
It worked out nicely.
Do you look for that specifically?
Yeah. It usually hits me, and I recognize something that's different, unusual, or whatever.
Yep.
That'll make a good photo.
Jerry, let's go to the next one. Jerry's our crack director back there. Now that's beautiful.
Okay.
It takes a certain finesse, a certain technique to do what you did in this photo.
Well, you can thank Photoshop.
Oh, really?
That's a composite.
Really?
Yeah. That the tower is recognizable by a lot of people, I imagine. That's down in P-Town.
Okay.
The Pilgrim Tower, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
With a dead sky.
Yeah.
There was nothing there.
All right.
And those fireworks came from last July's fireworks down at Fido Field.
Oh my God.
So it's just an overlay, and of course it makes it look a lot better.
Photoshop.
Yeah.
Do you have a black belt in Photoshop?
No. As long as I've had it, I'm still an amateur. I'm a novice at it, yeah. There's so much to learn in it.
Layering. It's based on layering, right?
It's like if you can think of an overhead projector. Remember the transparencies you used to put on one at a time? Well, this is like putting on two of them.
Yeah.
Or three.
What do we got next? How do you pronounce his name? Jagannath Kalsha?
Jagannath Kalsa. That's how he told me when I met him.
Jagannath Kalsa.
Yeah, Kalsa. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I guess he's a Sikh. I'm not sure. I never asked him, but it was a good story than this one. We had the wife and I had stopped up at the Blessing Barn in Mendon.
Sure.
And I heard this violin music off in the background somewhere. And I went looking. I saw him. He was playing there. So I went and grabbed the camera. The story was he had stopped because he was having car trouble. And it was a cold day. And he brought his violin in with him.
Yeah.
So he asked the manager if she mind if he'd play a few tunes, and he was there most of the afternoon until they came and fixed his car, and he took off.
Was he reading music? Do you remember?
No.
No?
No, not at all.
What kind of music was he playing?
It was mostly classical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no country.
No.
It was classical. He's one of the violinists in the
In this.
Claflin Hill
Yeah.
Symphony Orchestra.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now we have the leader of the Claflin Hill. There we go.
Yeah, I do work for them on a trade basis. I've been doing a lot of photography for them, and this was part of the advertising stuff that I think they've used that somewhere. But upstairs in his office, Paul Serpine, we took that. That was in the library display we had as well.
Oh, yes.
Your
I want
photo
to ask
was
you
up
about
there,
that.
too.
I know. Let me ask you about that. We're talking about a project that he did about a year ago of notables in town that was featured at the Milford Public Library. What went into that?
Well, it took me about a year to get everybody's photograph.
Yeah.
And we just talked with the folks up there. We put it up for a month. It was up to Heller for a month.
Did anybody refuse? Did you have somebody else in mind and they said no?
Yes, so there was somebody that refused to be photographed. She thought I was trying to sell her something.
Yeah.
But I won't mention the name. But it was easy. I mean, everybody I asked, they said, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to. It worked out. There's another one of Judge Larkin. Is that coming up?
Yeah, next one.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah, this was part of the same project. So this was in color, and I switched it to black and white through Photoshop. We did that in his home office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's had quite a career, that
He
fella.
looks like a judge.
He does.
Yeah, there's something very judgmental
Yeah,
about
he's
it.
also a JAG.
He was a JAG
He
in
was
the
a
military.
JAG in the
Army.
military, right.
Yeah, full bird colonel.
Yeah, full bird colonel.
Okay, JR, next one.
Hopedale Pond.
Yeah.
Done a lot of work over there. Again, the right conditions, the right time of day.
What time of day was this?
This was sunset.
Sunset?
Sunset.
Yeah.
And fortunately, the young man popped into that location with his fishing pole and just, made the photo.
Now, when you shoot a shot like this, are you in the automatic mode or are you finessing it in a manual setting?
No, I usually use manual for this.
You do?
Yeah, because in manual, at least one aspect of the exposure is going to remain the same.
Yeah.
And I can, juggle either the shutter or the aperture.
Well, is this considered to be underexposed?
Well, the trees.
As a result of the shadows.
Yeah, this was
and
meant to be silhouette,
Yeah,
and of course there's no light hitting the hill there.
right,
But if I expose for that, there would be no detail at all
right,
in the rest of the photo.
right. Next one. There we go. When did you take this?
That was this year. Back in the summertime, it was either for Memorial Day or 4th of July.
Do you know how this works?
Yeah.
People spend money to have a flag.
Yeah, I think $65.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think for the flag and a little plaque of some kind.
Yeah,
Yeah, it works out nice.
It's a beautiful display when they do that too.
It was, or is. And people have made I've heard a lot of good comments about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you before we go to the next one. Do you have any exhibits coming up? Are there any special projects you want to work on?
No, I don't have anything coming up. I haven't been too active in the last few months. The older you get, the more tired you get.
Yeah.
But I'd like to work on something. I wanted to put together a portfolio or an exhibit of just by motorcycles.
Motorcycles?
And their riders.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm looking for an easy rider type thing.
So you're going to hang out at some biker bar and
Well, I
take
could do
photos?
that, right? As long as it's before 7 p.m.
Next one, Jerry. Fireworks over Milford Pond. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is not a composite.
Yes, it is.
It is?
It is, yes.
Oh,
If you look at the photos you took, were you with me this year? Were you down there too?
no. I did shoot, but I wasn't with you.
Yeah. Well, by 10 p.m. the sky is totally black.
Right.
Okay. I did this as a test. I was just doing some test shots for exposures before the fireworks started. It was probably about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you still had the blue light in the sky.
Right.
And there was nothing up above, so I just brought in a couple of the fireworks
Yeah.
from later on that night in Photoshop and dropped it in there. And it just being able to see the sky and the horizon there makes it a little more interesting.
It's art, is what it is.
That one we call that one art.
Yeah, I call that art.
Okay.
All right, next one, Jer. The Dahlia.
Okay. And that is on its side. It goes this way, but that's all right.
Is this taken with a macro lens?
No, I just got in as close as I could.
Yeah.
I didn't have a macro with me and blew it up full frame.
Did you use a flash?
No, that was all natural light. It was a flower show
Yeah.
at Tower Hill. And I think that's over in Boylston. And we took a lot of photos that day. But this one was lit just perfectly, with overhead lighting slightly back, and I color corrected it because it had a little tinge of the fluorescent light.
I hate that light.
Yeah. And if you turn your head, that's what it really looks like.
Okay. Next one, Jer. The Last Rose of Summer.
I was off to photograph the foliage one morning back in October. And I came out the back door of my house, and there's one rose left on the bush. And it looked appetizing enough to photograph. So the white background is my garage. So the background out of focus,
Yeah.
and just
You
put
nailed
the
it.
emphasis on the rose.
You nailed the last rose of summer.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Let me ask you, you don't have any exhibits coming up? or
Nothing coming up. No.
You have a website where people can look at your photos and buy them?
Yes. I besides being on Facebook, I have a web. It's really not my website. I sell my photos through an organization called Fine Art America, and you can Google that and then put in my name, and you should come up with all the photos that are available for sale. And you can get them just a print or just a canvas. Get them framed. The prices you order your own print the way you
Now,
want
how about
it.
the canvas mounting? Do they do that as well?
Yeah, they do that too. And they'll ship it to you. Money back guarantee.
Next one, Jer. Red Barn.
Okay, I've done this one twice. This is on the way to Upton from Fisk Mill in Milford, Fisk Mill Road. Just keep going. The next lot, I guess, is the old Amato farm.
Okay.
If you remember that. And it's fascinated me every time I go by it. The color is not as good as it was the first time I photographed it. And I thought it'd be nice to get sometime right after a snowfall,
Yeah.
but I haven't had the opportunity.
Is that something you're going to do?
I'm gonna try it.
I know a lot of people that have shot one photo at different times in the year. Have you ever done that?
To some extent, yeah, I've done the same thing. Every scene you come across
Yeah.
is going to be different the next time you see it.
Oh, yeah.
Something will change. Either the weather's different,
Or the lighting,
or
for
the
sure.
lighting, that's for sure. Something may have changed in the scene itself.
Yeah,
It's just different all the time.
yeah. Nice shot. Okay, fall at Lake Whitehall. Is that Lake Whitehall?
Yeah,
It is?
it is.
Okay.
It's another place that changes every year, and I've been there several years in a row. And
Did you use a tripod for that? The foreground is very much in focus.
Yeah, on my landscapes, it's good to use a tripod because
Yeah.
you can eliminates camera movement, which
Yeah.
contributes immensely to fuzzy photographs.
Right.
And you can pick out the f-stop you want. So this was obviously a small f-stop.
Yeah.
A lot of depth of field so that it's sharp from the beginning to beyond the trees.
Yeah.
The sky was different that day. That
It
was
doesn't
nice.
look photoshopped at all. It looks
I
very
don't think I
natural.
did any much. Just a slight color correction,
Yeah.
little saturation, bring out the color a little bit more. That's
Cool.
all. That's all I do. I do that mostly with all my photos.
You know what we should do? We should set up a shoot for other photographers who are watching this and go out with us.
Good idea.
Huh?
Good idea.
We'll go up to Marblehead, 4 o'clock in the morning, watch the sun come up.
4 o'clock in the morning. Leaving here about 2:30 a.m.
Absolutely, we'll make a day of it.
Okay, that sounds good.
And we're putting that out to all the photographers in the area who want to join us. What do you have to say to somebody, a budding photographer, who wants to become a full-time photographer? What do you tell a young kid?
Well, number one, you got to keep shooting. Shoot something every day. You got to
Yeah.
learn something new every day. If you're going to go into it professionally on your own, be your own boss, then you've got to learn business techniques as well. You got to learn how to run a business.
Yeah,
But take advantage of as much schooling as you can.
yeah.
And
Where did you go to college? For photography?
For
Where did-
photography, Franklin Technical Institute is what it was called back then. It's on Franklin Street in Boston.
Yeah.
It's a one-year course, portrait and commercial. And of course, the Air Force sent me again. And after that, it was as many workshops, seminars, and
Do you still
photo-
attend them?
No, I don't. I haven't been to one for quite some time now,
Yeah.
but I belong to the PPFA, Professional Photographers of America, and several
Yeah.
other local organizations. And I've been to at least a dozen week-long workshops put on by an organization called NEAP, New England Institute of Professional Photographers.
Okay.
And they're down in they hold a week-long workshops down in not Falmouth. Well, yeah, in the Falmouth area, one of the hotels down there. And yeah, they were very interesting and very informative.
Good.
And you get to talk to a lot of photographers, many of them that are, they're all in business for themselves.
Are you semi-retired?
I'm fully retired and do as much as I can photographically.
Yeah.
Yeah, the camera's always in the car with me, like you.
Yeah.
I used to work for the Patch, if you recall.
Sure.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was a good gig back then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are there good gigs out there for photographers?
you've got to find them.
Yeah.
It's not like going to MIT for 4 years and then becoming a rocket scientist, or you get a fabulous job somewhere. No, you got to work at it.
Did you take business courses as well?
There was a little bit of it at Franklin Institute. It was during the after I got out of the Air Force. These workshops and that I'm talking about, a lot of them were business.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're talking to Jim Calarese, the world-renowned Jim Calarese. 1 million weddings, and God knows what else. You ever do any funerals? You ever shoot any funerals?
No.
No?
Well, for the newspaper, I covered a few things.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's about it.
Well, I guess that's the end of the show for the first one. We have Mike Zeiss coming in after the first of the year. Kristen will be here after the first of the year. Don Akavilli will be here If you're an artist and you want to come on Artist Corner, give me a call here at Milford TV. We'll have a punchline where you can call the number and talk to Liz and see about getting you scheduled. In the meantime, you take care, have a song in your heart, call your mom if you're so blessed, and if it's within your purview, hire a vet. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks, Jim.
My pleasure.